Hello, everybody. Today, me, uh, Jason in the top left, from Jason the Old Millennial, which is Stevie Nicks. He may or may not like blues and long songs. Uh, t-
In that
on
order.
top of me right here is Bryer from Bryer's Music Showcase, which he is Christine McVie's music showcase. Uh, he is authenticated by YouTube. Yeah.
Don't tell them that. They're gonna want favors.
And now to the left of me is Scott from Style Up Studios. Is now Mick Fleetwood Mac, and he uh, he may or may not play the guitar. And me, I may or may not be a miserable Ranger fan right now. So, how's everyone doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
You're good.
Feeling a little under the. How do I talk? I'm feeling a little under the weather today.
Okay.
Okay,
Allergies and the weather here has been terrible. Like
that sucks.
awful rain, winds that have blown all the trees down. So
That sucks.
Yeah, we've been getting with storms. I'm guessing you too, Scott.
yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
getting nothing.
Me too. It's like sunny out where I live.
well, let me tell you, it's not that funny, is it?
Yeah, I know how it feels. Well, before we give our brief thoughts on the album, Bryer, give me the
Background information.
All right. Hey, there is a lot to go through right here.
Okay.
Obviously, a couple years has passed, a few years roughly, with rumors. Rumors did fairly well with a couple albums, I would say. That's good. But, of course, how do you follow up a behemoth like Rumors? So, you make a double album, of course. So, they actually been wanting to do a double album for quite some time, but they thought, because they were so getting a lot of popularity, they thought the time was right. So, they were kind of deciding where they wanted to record. At one point, they were going to record at Dennis Wilson's studio, because it was during this time where Christine McVie was was in a relationship with Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys, so that was kind of an interesting footnote there. Um, but but they decided not to. Apparently, they had a PFD, which they didn't want to do, so they decided to go ahead and make their own studio, like an old custom studio they can rent out and they can use as the keys. Of course, around this time as well, Lindsey Buckingham decided to make his own home studio, which he would use full advantage of. We'll see why later. But it was also with Lindsey, he was starting to really get into what was popular at this time. New wave was starting to kick in. Post punk was also starting to take hold. So he was listening to stuff like Talking Heads, Joy Division, and of course, one of the big ones was, funny enough, Beach Boys. He was really a big fan of Brian Wilson and Pet Sounds, which, funny enough, in the recent Beach Boys documentary, it
Yep.
features Lindsey Buckingham in it.
Yep.
So Lindsey decided to just go to his home studio and just went to town. And yes, if you're gonna ask, there was tons of cocaine at that point. And of course, one of the producers actually had a quote about Lindsey around this time. And I'll say this quote right here. It's quite a long one, but he says, he was a maniac. The first day I set the studio up as usual, then he said, turn every knob 180 degrees from where it is now and see what happens. And yeah, that's just one of the things he would ask. And moving on, he'd tape microphones to the studio floor and get into some sort of push-up position to sing. Early on, he came in and he'd freak out in the shower and cut off all his hair with nail scissors. He was stressed. And Lindsey, he was kind of thinking of making a solo album as well. And the rest of the band were like, "Okay, Lindsey, just go ahead, get this out of your system. We'll take whatever you have." And yeah, so they made the album. Of course, Christine, Stevie, they were also contributing as well, so it definitely helped fill out the double album. And this was one of the most expensive albums at this point. This cost a lot of money to make, which is how much they were doing. So yeah, and for the most part, the band are pretty happy with it. I think Mick Fleetwood has said this is one of his favorites. This is like one of his favorites of the band that the band ever did. It's like, I think he says it's like his second favorite. His favorite is Then Play On.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, interesting choice. So that's pretty much most of the recording. Now briefly, we'll talk about the album cover. We kind of do it every once in a while, but first off, what do we think of this album cover?
This album cover is straight garbage.
Terrible.
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
the trash can.
There we go. Get the trash can ready. Because there is a story. There it is. Because originally they wanted to use a picture of Stevie Nicks for the cover, but I guess the photographer took a photo of the producer's dog biting his leg, and so they thought it was kind of funny and decided to use it. And Stevie was pissed when she found out. She went out and would say she would actually like curse the dog for stealing her cover. So I don't know what she meant by that, but hopefully the dog came out okay. But
So I can't imagine that. Like, or like going to the dog and it's like, you motherfucker! How dare you steal this album cover from me?
yeah,
The dog.
I know.
A plague on your family.
I don't know.
I'll cast all the spells I have on you. Excelsior!
Which is even more, which is ironic because this album actually got nominated for Best Album Packaging.
What?
It's mainly for the inside, I think.
Probably, but
There's like
still.
lots of band photos on the inside.
Yeah, but
Album
still.
cover is so bad.
Still.
Yeah. Yeah, but critically, it still did pretty well. Critics kind of liked it, but of course, it didn't sell as well as Rumors. So, of course, to the most people would consider it a flop. But of course, I mean, again, how could you top it? But commercially, still did really well. Got to #1 in the UK and got to #4 in the US. So, yeah, there's the background info. It was a lot, but there's a lot to talk about this album.
Yeah, the last two covers were really good. I agree. I don't know what happened. I mean, it's like, what are they doing? I think they should have kept doing what they were doing.
You guys have any background info on the album before we start reviewing it?
I really didn't know anything about this album when I came to it. Just the only song I think I really know that well is Sarah, coming from this album. I don't know if there's any other hits you think from this album, but that's the one I can think of.
Tusk is probably the biggest.
Yeah, the
one.
title track's kind of talked about.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not like a bunch of hits like the last album, which Rumors was all hits, basically. And yeah, so I know people like this album, but that's about all I knew about this album. So I was going in totally blind.
I think it's a really good album. I'll save my deeper thoughts for track by tracks.
You say your brief thoughts yet, Bryer?
Well, I think I've hinted at it before, but I think I know I'm kind of mixed on this album. I'm not going to go too in depth, and I'll talk more when we get into the track by track. But we'll see if my feelings has changed since then.
Okay. Well, this album is amazing. I'll leave it at that for now. But this is going to be a double album, so I made a lot of bookmarks, a lot of banners, so I'll go through each side and all that. So we're on side 1 right now, and the first track on the album, Over and Over.
Yes, we start on I believe Chrissy McVie song, and it's a nice Chrissy McVie song, as most Chrissy McVie songs are. It's definitely more of a slower song, ballad type. She's really good at, and I think overall it's a really good opener. I think Chris McVie, it's another good song from her, vocally, and I like the background vocals as well. I like the acoustic guitar sound on here. So yeah, I think it's actually one of Chris McVie's better songs on the album.
Hey, yeah, very nice song. Um, I've read that this was probably about Dennis Wilson because again they were dating. Uh, yeah, so yeah, I mean it almost has like a Warm Ways feel to it, kind of a similar like slower track
Yeah,
ballad type of thing. But there's some nice keyboards on here with the acoustic guitar, and you just have this very steady beat that carries it. Then there, I mean, I think there was, of course, there was kind of one line that kind of caught me off guard where it says "over, bend over." What do you mean by bend over?
yeah. What do you
um,
mean?
but still, it's a pretty nice song. It's kind of an interesting song to start the album with because the previous two albums they started on a more upbeat track, like the '75 album had like Monday Morning, and then Rumors had Secondhand News, but this one's a little bit the opposite of that, where it's this slow, very almost somber type of track. But I still like it. It's kind of, it's almost like okay, it's almost like they purposely want to make the opposite of what those two albums were. Let's start with a slow song this time instead of an upbeat track. But still, it's a nice song.
It's a very good Christine McVie song. I will say I would have rather had them start with "Think About Me," the other Christine McVie song on the first side, because it has more of that heavy feel to it. But it's a good song.
Yeah, this is a good song. I really enjoy it. I think this is a fine opener. However, this is my least favorite song on the album, and I don't think it's really the best sign when you have the weakest song being the opening song. Uh, I will say it didn't affect my score, but it might affect my ranking. I'm not sure yet. Uh, you'll find out when we rank the albums. But we get to the next song in the album. This is the first Buckingham song, and that is Ledge.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good song from Buckingham. Contrast kind of from the first song. It's definitely more fast paced, which Buckingham brings more of the fast paced songs, I feel like, while McVie and Nick's kind of give you the ballads. So nice contrast here. I thought it was pretty catchy. I really like the chorus and everything here. So yeah, I thought it was a really good second song.
Okay. So yeah, I, I'm fine with the song. It's not one of my favorites, honestly. Um, this is the first of Lindsay's tracks, and the thing is, he does pretty much everything by himself on a lot of his songs, which is going to be a common thing here. But this is interesting. The bass playing was pretty good, even though it was mainly in my left ear the whole time. But still, it's nice to hear the bass. There's a ton of backing vocals on here. It's short, doesn't overstay its welcome. Not too weird yet. We're gonna get to those, but it's fine. I don't mind it too much.
So I think they did this on purpose. That you got a traditional sounding Christine McVie song as the first song, and then right after that you get this weird Lindsey Buckingham song that sounds nothing like Fleetwood Mac has ever done before. A lot of influence from the British new wave and punk movements. Very weird production. I actually really like it. It's very frantic sounding. The "counting on your fingers, counting on your toes" is those like weird lyrics too. It's like this sounds nothing like what was on Rumors. He was really trying to do something different here, and I think it actually kind of works with this song.
I actually agree with you and Jason. I really enjoy the song. I really like. I got to what I was gonna say. It's very frantic. I love its frantic nature. Very catchy, for sure. Never gonna break it. Oh, never gonna break it. It's weird. It's experimental, but Bryer said it, not me, but it does get weirder from here for him. That is. Now we go to another traditional Christine McVie song. Think about me.
Man, this is a great Fleetwood Mac song. This is what I love about Fleetwood Mac when they put out something like this. The harmonies are so good. McVie, great vocals here. Great chorus that you gotta think about me, whatever. Love that when they get to that chorus. It's a great chorus, and I think guitar's playing is really good too as well on this song. But this is one of my favorite on the album.
All right, yes. All right, so yeah, this is another song I enjoy. Yep, Christine and Lindsay sharing vocals on here, and of course they always sound really good together. This was the fourth single, got to number 20 in the US.
Okay.
And yeah, there's some really good keyboard playing on here. It's just this great upbeat track and a really good bass line too from John, which is pretty cool. And of course the chorus, yeah, very nice chorus to it as well. Very memorable. Yeah, just a really good song. This was definitely a highlight.
Another really good Christine McVie song. This one's even better than the first one. Like I feel like this has more of an opening track feel to it than the other one. It's a Christine McVie song, so you know the piano is going to be very good in it. Very, very good melody, well written, and of course her performance vocally is amazing as well. So it's a very good song.
Yeah, this is another just fantastic song to follow up. Another fantastic song. This is nice. This is a nice feel good song after The Ledge. I have nothing more else to say. It's a really catchy song and definitely one of McVie's best songs in this period. Now we get to the next Lindsey Buckingham song, "Save Me a Place."
Yeah, I mean, man, this I'll say it right now. This first part of the album is the best part of the album for me. I mean, they're just on a roll. Every song is so good, and including this one, it's just absolutely amazing. I think it has the best harmonies probably of the whole album. I love the harmonies on this one. And again, what I like so much about Fleetwood Mac is when you get, like I said, McVie or Nix and Buckingham singing. Man, they sound so great together. It's a little more, I guess, slower maybe. Cusick song. I think drums are very good here though as well. I think drums are really good throughout this album. There's a couple times where I'm like, man, he's really doing great on the drums here. I took a lot of notice, but yeah, I really love the song. The great Fleetwood Mac song.
All right. I thought it was decent. Again, not one of my favorites. Again, it's mainly just him playing most of the instruments, which is fine. Don't have a problem with that. It's got an interesting percussion sound, which is definitely interesting. Some light guitar here. Melody was decent. I didn't have much to say, but yeah, I don't know why this one didn't really grab me for some reason. But again, it's not horrible, but yeah, it's just not one of my favorites.
Another one of Lindsay's "Let's Get Weird" songs. I honestly really like what he does on this album. I think it's very, very creative. They're almost like these little soundscapes, and I enjoy hearing where he goes with them.
Okay, I really enjoy this song. I'm leaning towards what Jason was saying. I love the harmonies. I love the instrumentation of it. It's kind of like an acoustic song, and I'm all for it. Very pleasant song, When you think of Lindsey Buckingham in this period, you think weird experimentalness, but this feels more. This is like one of his more tame songs on the album.
Yeah,
I will say 7 songs on this album go a little wild in experimentation, but there are 2 songs that go more tame, and this is one of them. But we conclude side 1 with Sarah.
man, another fantastic song. It's like I'd say right now, like these first couple songs. I mean, my top 5 is mostly this first part of the album. Like, is in my top 5. I mean, I think it's absolutely fantastic. This obviously is a hit song. I've heard before on the radio. I'm a big Stevie Nicks fan on here, and I think her vocals were just so fantastic. Love the acoustic guitar here. I also put down, I really like the bass, the drums, and piano. I think all the instruments are really good on this song. And Stevie Nicks, I don't know, she just hits another level sometimes when she goes into those big notes. And I'm like, oh man, I just love her voice. This is definitely a signature song for her.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, this is another really great song on here. This is the second single. Got to number 7 in the US. and number 37 in the UK.
Hmm.
It's interesting because this actually started out as just a poem. It was loosely inspired by one of her friends, who was also named Sarah. I don't know much of the context behind it, but
I
but
do. I'll get to that.
you'll get to that one. But yeah, musically very nice, very pretty. The piano sounds really great with the acoustic guitar. Again, bass playing sounds really nice. Got a nice steady beat to it, and again, it's not too. It's like it doesn't really stray away from that. It doesn't get too like big or anything, but it's one of those ones where it's simple but it's effective. Um, so that's kind of why this song. I really enjoy this song. This was definitely a highlight.
Lovely song. Um, the original recording was just Stevie Nicks and a piano, and Fleetwood and Mac and Buckingham did overdubs to it. And Christy McVie was supposed to overdub her own piano part on top of it, but when they were playing over it, they found that the piano had bled through the microphone, so Stevie Nicks' piano part had to stay there. And they felt that like Stevie Nicks had done a good enough job playing the piano that they kept that in. The lyrics, it's kind of a messed up story. As this band has, there's always some kind of drama going on with these people. Stevie Nicks was dating Mick Fleetwood around the time this album came out, and one day she discovered that Mick Fleetwood was secretly getting with her friend Sarah, and so that's kind of what this song is about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very good, very good song. I love it.
Well, despite its background on the song, I still really enjoy it. Very catchy song. It's 6.5 minutes long, but it doesn't feel that long. It's funny. It's like I look at the runtime. I'm like 6.5 minutes long. I'm like, I thought it was like 3.5 minutes long,
It
but
doesn't feel like
exactly, it's like they do a really good job of making a song feel really short. Ironically, Dr. Brown from Mr. Wonderful feels like it's that long. It's like half the length. So, yeah, shameless plug on that album, but yeah. It's a really good way to close out side one. Now, we flip the record over to side two.
How many times are we gonna flip it over?
It's good. We're going to flip the record over 3 times.
You back to the front.
to the back.
I would say probably flip over, but then to the back, and then the back would flip over to side 4. I was saying it's going to be scary once we get to a triple album because I don't know what we would do then. Like
All things must
We
pass.
have to do it this way then.
But we get to the next song on the album, which is "What Makes You Think You're the One."
Oh man, I really like this song. I thought it's one of Buckingham's best songs he's done. I love the aggressiveness of him just coming right out at the beginning of the song. Hits you. I mean, it's one of the songs where it hits you right away with that. What makes you think you're the one? Ah, so good. It's so catchy. Like this is maybe the catchiest song of the whole album. Like if not the catchiest, one of the catchiest. Where I was like, oh my gosh, I was really getting into the song. It's some of the best drum work on the album, in my opinion. I really love the drums on here, and Buckingham's vocal is just so good, and it's nice upbeat song. Definitely one of my favorites on the album.
Okay. I'm torn with this one because there are things I like about this one. The big drum sound, yeah, I like the sound of the drums here, and the chords that Lindsay's using is also pretty nice. I think the actual chord progression is pretty good, and the piano on here is definitely a nice touch. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on Lindsay's vocals personally. It's very expressive, to say the least. I think there's a time where it sounds like he's almost yodeling. Yeah. I don't know. That kind of. I don't know. I kind of was kind of that kind of threw me off. Again, it's not one of my favorites again, but I can see why people like this one. It's just the vocals that kind of irk me, but everything around it was still pretty good, so it's fine.
I actually really like this song. I think it's fun. I like the aggressive vocal style and the odd production choices. I think it's fun.
Okay. Yeah, this is a fun way to open up side two. I'm leaning towards Jason yet again. Yeah, it's to be honest, it's like I wasn't expecting Jason to like all these Buckingham songs. I thought that was gonna be his drawback on this album. I'm glad you're liking these songs, Jason. This song's awesome. I agree. It's definitely one of the catchier songs on the album. I love his vocal style on this. I, I, I agree with Jason. But I can see where Bryer gets his issues from. His voice is a little different. It is odd, but it's odd in a way that I like. So I see where you're coming from, though. Now we get to the next song on the album, which was done by Stevie Nicks, Storms.
Another absolutely fantastic song on this album. I mean, they're 7 for 7 for me. Starting out this album, I'm like, wow, all 7 of these songs are just really good stuff. And it's got maybe my favorite melody out of all the songs. I love the melody on here. Love Nick's vocals. It's such a pretty song. And I don't know, again, it's kind of like, reminds me of like Sarah and like another song coming up where Nick's, man, just kills it on these ballad type songs. This is what I love about Fleetwood Mac is these type of songs, because I love Landslide and some other songs before, and this kind of goes along with that. Yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
All right, yeah, I love this one. This is definitely a highlight for me. Yeah, it's kind of funny when Stevie brought this song to the band. Lindsay didn't care for it. You can imagine the argument that started. But other than that, he later warmed up to it. But yeah, it's just a really pretty, very, really beautiful song. Really like the simple bass line on here with the keyboards and the acoustic guitars. Just has this there's a sad feeling to it, but I love sad songs. What can I tell you? I think I've read this was possibly about his relationship with Mick. But still, it's a really good song. Definitely a highlight.
I love this song. It's amazing. You know who the real hero of this song is? It's the Penguin. John McVie. The bass on this is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Really keeps that groove going through the whole song. And him and Fleetwood are like probably one of the most underrated rhythm sections in music. Both them and Charlie Watts and Bill Wyman. Those are my picks for the most underrated rhythm sections. But yeah, it's amazing. The bass, it's great. Stevie Nicks' voice is great.
Yeah, we should take the captain position off of Sidney Crosby and give it to John McVie. He'll be the Penguins' new captain. Stupid joke, but yeah, this song's so awesome. It's such a dark, gloomy, sort of melodic song, and it works so well. Like, she kind of did it with Landslide, but I think she did it better here, in my opinion. And I will say, Stevie Nicks is really stepping up to be a great writer. She's improving very vastly. Like, I will say her writing's okay on the first album she's with the Buckingham Nicks album. She gets a little better with the self-titled album, and Rumors, her writing gets pretty good, but this album, like, she really sprouts into this awesome songwriter. This is like, to me, when her writing starts to get really good.
I think side 2 is my favorite side of this album.
Well, speaking of stuff that's part of side 2, we get to Lindsey Buckingham's "That's All for Everyone."
Yeah, for me, this song I thought was kind of boring. It was one of my least favorite from Buckingham here. I really praised him on the first 2-3 songs that he did on here. I thought were really good. This one, to me, was a weak song for Buckingham.
Finally, a Buckingham song I actually really like on this album so far.
That's funny.
Okay.
That's not that funny, is it?
It's not funny. We're about to get to that one, so I'm just going to save it. I'm not going to say it again until we get to it.
Yeah, so I actually like this one. Okay, so I can. This one is one of those songs where I actually do hear the Brian Wilson influence. I can definitely. It has sort of like something he would write. And the band's a lot more involved in this one, and I like the percussion to this one. And probably the big thing I enjoy, I like the overall melody, especially during the chorus. That's all for everyone. Like I really enjoy that melody. That's the part that gets stuck in my head. But yeah, definitely a highlight from him on this one for me.
This is one of my favorite Lindsey Buckingham songs on this album. Kind of got like a little proto Pet Sounds going on here with the Phil Spector-ish production, with like the xylophone, and the vocals are very Beach Boys. It's just like that's all for everyone. That's all with the harmonies. And there's a very inventive key change in there as well. So yeah, I like the sound of this one. Very creative.
Yeah, this song is amazing. It's crazy. None of us have agreed on a great Buckingham song yet.
Yeah, we're not agreeing on this. That's for sure.
It's either Jason's not a fan of it or Bryer's not a fan of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll have one.
Well, I will say my least favorite Buckingham song on this album is Tusk, but I still think it's good. So I hope any of the other Buckingham songs before it gets an approval though. But yeah, this is a really pleasant song, and I love the Brian Wilson influence on it. Not that funny, is it?
Finally,
Not that funny.
I've been waiting for this one.
The song we were waiting for.
Yes.
Yeah, this song definitely stood out on the album for me. I remember coming up to this album, I didn't really know much about this album except that people are like, oh, Buckingham, he's kind of weird and experimental, and he's just all over the place. And so I was really expecting like a lot of, weird stuff. And then I got to this song, and I'm like, this must be what everybody's telling me about Buckingham doing something weird or something out there. Because it definitely was like the out there song for me. It was just annoying, I would say. Just the not that funny. And I was like, man, I wasn't a fan of how he delivered those vocals. Definitely one of the weak songs on the album, though. The drumming is really good. It almost saves the song. I really, when I listen to it, I'm like, man, I do love this drumming on this kind of crazy song. So I'm kind of in the middle of it, but mostly I'm like, it's kind of annoying.
You guys ready for a rant?
Yes. Give us the rant.
Let him cook.
Spill the tea.
I hate this song. I hated this song when I heard it. Oh my god. So, again, it's just him doing it. So, then that's it. And I heard that Christine's doing backing vocals, but I cannot, for the life of me, hear her. And that's a huge sin in itself. But yeah, I just don't like that keyboards riff. It's just like, and the drumming was just like punching me in the face each time it kept going. And then you have Lindsey just shouting, "It's not that funny!" I'm like, "No, it's not funny! Shut up!" And I'm like, oh my god, I just kept going and going and going. And yeah, not funny is correct, because I certainly was not laughing during this thing. To me, this song is the prime problem I have with Lindsey on this one. Because again, I get he's trying to, park in some of those things he was into at the time, but if these songs were like on a Lindsey Buckingham on an actual soul album he did, maybe I wouldn't be as harsh. But it just is so jarring. And this is the song where he infamously did push-ups while recording this one. And I remember hearing that story. I'm like, oh, come on, man. You really have to do that so much? And apparently he also did some of his vocals in a replica of his bathroom at a studio. I'm like, no wonder this album cost so much.
Well, I'll give him one thing. You can't say that Fleetwood Mac was a sellout band if they're building replicas of their bathroom in the studio and doing push-ups while they're singing.
Nope, I guess you can't. But yeah, I really do not like this song. Just absolutely not good. I mean, this is the song where I'm like, come on, Lindsay, stick to what you're good at. You're not good at this type of music.
He goes back to his normal style on the next album.
And I'm like, thank God. Okay, moving on.
Okay, now for my take.
You didn't like it.
This song's freaking hilarious. It is funny. The title's very misleading. Sorry, Bryer, but I laugh at this. This makes me laugh every time I hear it. It's so stupid. It's not that funny, is it? And the drumming.
I'm gonna be real. I haven't been this pissed off at a Fleetwood Mac song since the Dust My Broom fiasco.
Ooh.
Gosh.
Ooh.
I would put it that low.
Wow, you're not going to be happy about something you're going to have to say later on. Yeah, like, he does the push-ups at the end. It's not that funny. It's not that funny. It's like, bruh, how did you think of this? Like,
I'm like, come on, man, get up.
What possessed you to do push-ups while singing in a replica of your bathroom? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And it's captured here on record for us to Lindsey Buckingham, 1979, in a replica of his bathroom. It's not that funny, is it? Oh, I don't know why I'm laughing so hard at this right now, but it's like every time I just hear it's not that funny, is it? Wait. Nick, didn't you say you played this at like a restaurant jukebox before?
Yes.
Did people leave?
No, but it was funny seeing some people's reactions like this is Bryer, and this is Lindsey Buckingham.
That's it. That's exactly what it's like.
He's like, what happened to go your own way? You had a good thing and you messed it up.
It's like
you were the chosen one.
He's like the angry video game nerd. He's like, what the fuck was he thinking?
You know when Mike Love told Brian Wilson not to screw with the formula? Well, this case, he was right. Anyway, I like this song, and you can't change my mind on that. I think it's hilarious. It is that funny.
Okay. Bryer, don't get too mad at me. Don't get too mad. I'm
quitting the band after this.
Oh, Neil Young is leaving again.
The band.
This is my second favorite song on the album. This is
Okay.
my second favorite song on the album.
Wow. Okay.
Everyone was I know Scott was predicting this would be my favorite song on the album. It was close.
It's close.
Really, really close. Like that close to being my favorite song on the album.
I'm
But-
curious what your favorite is.
There is a song that I'm like, you know what? This edges this, but
It's Walk the Thin Line, isn't it?
we'll find out. But yeah, I love this song. It's so outrageously bad. I know I should hate it. I know it's bad. I know Lindsey Buckingham could do better than this.
Okay.
But he executes this so well that I can't help but love it. This is like Good Time Boy from the Buffalo Springfield album. It's like, I know this is the weakest song on the album. I know I should dislike it, but all the wacky characteristics in my brain that loves wacky, goofy, dumb songs can't help but love it.
Okay.
That's my mini rant, but I get where Bryer's saying, I'm wrong. Bryer's right. I'll say it. He's right. His rant is right. I shouldn't like this song as much as I should. This should be a song that I hate, but I love it. And that's what makes me me.
I'm going to have to load a soundbite of this song and just randomly play it on the next
Oh my
video.
god! And I'm gonna be like
So when you
bashing
least
my head on the
expect it,
desk every time it appears.
when you least expect it, that picture of Ringo is going to pop up and it's going to go, it's not that funny, is it?
And I just twitch.
It's like that Squidward. It's like when like that clip of Squidward when like Patrick was like, when Squidward was like, "Would you like it to here to go?" and Patrick was like, and then like Squidward's just like, that's Bryer when he listens to the song. It's like,
Rather
Well-
do that than hear the song.
yeah, but like I said, I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. I'm fully acknowledging it, but the part of me that loves this kind of goofy dumbness can't help but put it that high. So, Jason and Bryer, you're correct. I'm wrong. I'm incorrect. Moving on
I
now.
guess I'll stay in the band a little longer.
We get to the next one on the
I'm
album.
about being nice. I didn't know Bryer was going to do that.
I'll say
Oh,
Jason.
you don't like me when I'm angry.
I don't. I've only seen Bryer that upset once, and it was with the Dust My Breath.
It's like I think they're questioning my intelligence now.
I would have
feel
been
like-
harsher on the song, but I didn't want to be the one that was really harsh on the song, so I was trying to be nice. But then after Bryer, I'm like, oh, I should have been way harsher on the song.
Feels
Yeah,
good.
you find little things that you like the drums. Like, okay, the drums were fine enough, blah blah blah. And then Bryer was like, "No,
The drums hit me in the face.
Okay.
this thing is bad all the way."
Keyboard is awful.
I wish I had a
No,
trash
it's not
can.
that funny.
Yeah, this was Breyer's review of the song, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay.
Okay, let's move on now because I don't want to make this a 2-hour video. Well, it might be, but
No, I gotta be up early tomorrow.
we get to the next song on the album, "Sisters of the Moon."
Yeah, for me, this is a Stevie Nicks song, but the intro was so long. I thought it took way too long to get into the song. And it's one of the weaker songs for me. And Stevie Nicks has some of my favorite songs here. This is, to me, a weaker song for her. And so it was just kind of in the middle for me.
Okay. Well, after endure that last one, this was like God tier. After that, and I was like, oh my God, Stevie, thank you.
Save me, Stevie.
Yeah. Yep. So this was actually the 5th single, surprisingly. I didn't say where it charted, but I actually really like this one. Objectively speaking, now I do like the bass work on this one. Has a really nice vibe overall. Good drum beat. Again, nothing too crazy. You have Stevie and Christine kind of harmonizing, which is definitely nice to hear. Some nice guitar textures all around, and a nice guitar solo by the end. Yeah. Overall, still a pretty good song. Let me just double check. Nope, it didn't get my top 5. It's kind of somewhere in the middle there, but still, it's fine. I like it.
I think this is a very good Stevie Nicks song. I really love the kind of eerie vibe to it. It's another one of her witchy woman type songs. You know that song's by the Eagles, but that's just the best way to describe it. Kind of like Rhiannon. Very haunting and atmospheric, and Fleetwood and John McVie, especially John McVie is probably like the best playing I've heard him do on any Fleetwood Mac album up to this point. Like he is on fire on this album.
Well, funny enough, this is ranked towards the bottom of my list of songs. So we have a song that should be ranked bottom, be like towards the top, and now we have a song that should be ranked towards the middle, towards the top, is now towards the bottom of my list. So you can tell how I feel about Lindsey Buckingham, this album. However, again, the writing on Stevie Nicks' writing is really improving. Again, I can't help but say this, but her writing is improving immensely. Like, I gotta give her credit where credit's due. Her writing's just getting better and better. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not. I feel like I'm the only one who's saying this, but I think your writing's like improving immensely. But we flip the record over. Well, we take the record out and then we put a new record in.
Put another.
We get to side 3. Yes, so we got the second disc. Side 3, Angel.
Wait a second, I haven't we heard this one before? Heroes are hard to find. Anyone?
Oh,
It was a while ago.
it was a while ago.
All right.
If you don't get the joke, there's another Fleetwood Mac song named Angel on another
Oh.
album, but it's completely different.
Angel.
Uh,
You're frozen.
Oh no.
Oh no.
this was
You were frozen, Jason.
am I here?
You're
Yeah,
here.
okay, now you're here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's more of I wrote down it's more of a pop song for. I thought it was a little slow at the beginning, but I thought at the end it kind of crescendos, where she gets a little bit louder, a little bit faster, and a little more passionate. And so I really liked the ending of the song. I thought she really kind of built up to this really good ending to it. So overall, I thought it was a pretty good song. And I wrote down I thought the bass was really good here as well.
Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty nice song. Not one of her. I would say this is probably not one of her strongest songs for me. You know, some good stuff like the bass playing, very nice. There's some keyboards on this one. But yeah, I didn't have much else to say about it. It's just a pretty solid song, kind of somewhere in the middle for me. But still, it's nice.
I like this one. Once again, John McVie in the bass, Mick Fleetwood on the drums, very good. It's a very groovy tune. I enjoy it.
Yeah, this is a nice song. This didn't make my top 5, or to be honest, this is a double album. I'm gonna give a top 10 for me because it's 2 discs. I'm gonna basically 2 top 5s combined, basically, which is top 10. But yeah, this didn't make my top 10, but yeah, that was really good though. It's good. You know, it's in my bottom 5, but it's good. Now we get to the next song on the album, which is this must be torture for Bryer. He got 9 Buckingham songs. That's enough for me.
Yeah, it's enough for Bryer for sure.
That's enough for Bryer.
Bryer's like, that's enough for me.
Yep.
This song is so short. It's really fast paced. It comes and goes real quickly, and I feel like that hurts the song. I feel like it doesn't have enough time to breathe. It's just like it's over, and I'm like, oh, it seemed like a song that was unnecessary. It was so short to me. So to me, it was one of the weaker songs.
Okay, here's another one. Okay, this was another one of my least favorites. Yeah, it's like very close to the bottom. Yeah, I've read that the way Lindy how people describe the song, it's supposed to be rockabilly on acid.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, it definitely sounds like it's on acid. It's just this like very short, very fast song, and again, I just can't get into Lindsay's vocals on this one, especially when he's just shouting, "Yeah, yeah, yeah!" I'm like, oh my god. And again, I've heard Christine and Stevie are providing backing vocals, but I still can't hear them. So there's that sin again. But yeah, I really don't care for the song.
I just got one thing to say. Yeah, yeah. This is one of the Lindsey Buckingham songs I don't like as much, but I still enjoy it. You know, while it's there. For me, this kind of sounds like The Ledge, but played at twice as fast speed.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Or we don't talk about this now.
Yeah, please no, not anymore, please.
Oh boy, we already got past that.
We went through that.
Don't give me
Not that
flashbacks,
funny,
please.
is it?
That's gonna be my.
That funny, is it? Not that funny. Not that funny.
Yeah, I really like this song too.
Okay.
I love this song. This is another song that made my top 5,
Wow.
my top 10. Really like this song.
Wow.
Yeah. I know I'm wrong. Bryer. You can be mad at me, but I can't.
Not mad. I'm just sad.
I'm just disappointed.
Disappointed.
Just disappointed.
I feel like I'm like a son who just like
Yeah.
failed like the team squad or whatever, and like Brier's just like,
It's not that funny, is it?
I had so much hope in you. You failed me as a son. Never come back here again.
Well, as Lindsay
Vanished.
would say later, I know I'm not wrong.
We'll
we
get-
got a few other songs first.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
yeah, I really like this song. Now we get to the next McVie song, Brown Eyes.
Yeah, this is my least favorite McVie song, I would say, on here. Again, to me, it was a little boring compared to another, I like some of her other ballads on here early on, but I think I'm getting a little, at this point, it's like, man, this album's starting to seem long. I felt like we're having too many songs here. Like, if we cut the album down a little bit, it would just be a lot, I don't know, a lot better paced, I guess. And yeah, so to me, it's one of my least favorite on the album.
All right. Okay, for me, I actually really enjoy this one. It's actually one of my favorites on here. Again, there's a bias because I'm a Christine boy, but yeah, I just like the vibe of this one. It's just this very somber, kind of very. It's got a very unique tone to it. It's kind of somber, kind of a sad sort of song, but again, I like that sort of sound. I've read that this was supposed to be about Dennis Wilson. Of course, that's kind of ironic because apparently he had green eyes, so I guess they wanted to change it up a bit so it's not too obvious. It's actually the first song she presented, and apparently while they're recording, apparently the whole band was vibing to this one because it was reported that Stevie Nicks was just like dancing to the whole track, just kind of this slow dance that she was doing. Apparently this took 37 takes to get. But yeah, it's just a very good moody, and I like the melody of the chorus with that la 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 la. I don't know, I just kind of really like the sound of it. And apparently, of course, this is pretty notable because this song marks the return of Peter Green, who actually because if you listen to the very end, you hear a guitar solo, and that's him playing it
Oh,
at
wow.
the very
It's
end.
only like 2 seconds long.
Yes, very short,
During
but
the fade out, you can
Yeah.
barely hear it.
I think you can find like the longer take of him doing it, but yeah, it's kind of a nice little return, nice little hello from Peter for a short period, because he was always kind of supporting them, even when he wasn't in the band. He was still supportive of what they did. Of course, because Peter was still pretty high off drugs, he apparently had no recollection of ever doing it. But still, other than that, yeah, I enjoy this song. Another highlight.
This is my favorite Christine song on the album. Like, it's just a vibe. You get that groove going. I can see why Stevie Nicks was dancing around to it. 'Cause man, I love the feel of this song. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good song on the album. I can see why this was Jason's least favorite McVie song. It is a little slow moving on the album. It didn't make my top 10, however, but to be honest, there's so much good songs on this album. Like, to be honest, any of these songs could be my favorite at any given moment, depending on how I feel. But yeah, it's a very enjoyable song, and looking at my ranking, this is also my least favorite McVie song, but I still find it to be a very enjoyable song. So I'm with Jason, but I still enjoy it. So I'm half agreeing with Jason. Now we get to the next McVie song, Never Make Me Cry.
Yeah, back-to-back McVie here. I actually like this song better than the last one. I think it's actually a pretty nice ballad. It's not one of my favorite ballads on there, but there's so many great ballads. It's hard to again. McVie has some other songs I really really like on here. This is more towards the middle for me on the album. Still a pretty solid song.
Yep, another song I really like. Yeah, another one of the more moodier tracks, which again, I love that sound. And I love how Christine's vocals is a lot more upfront on here. definitely has more presence. And yeah, it's just a very simple guitar, bass, and cymbal combination here. I like the emotion that's being portrayed here. But yeah, this one barely missed my top 5. But still, I really enjoy this one. So yeah.
It's another good Christine song. I don't like it as much as Brown Eyes, but it's still very good.
I'm gonna agree with Bryer. This is like what this is. This is actually my favorite McVie song on
You
the album.
redeem yourself, Nick.
Yeah, this is my favorite McVie song on the album. It's very pretty. I think this is a great ballad on the album. This is a song that I think is very underrated. I really like this song. It's great. Well, I love Brown Eyes, but it's funny. You go from my least favorite McVie song straight to my favorite McVie song. It's weird how that turned out, but yeah, this song's awesome. I freaking love it so much. Now we close out side 3 with another Buckingham song. I know I'm wrong. I know I'm not wrong.
Yeah, this was more fast paced, more of a pop song from him. More what I like from Buckingham on the album. It's not. I would say it's okay. It's an okay song. Again, there's so many songs on here. It's like I could have done without this song because he had some other really good songs on here. Of course, the other two we won't name. I would have done without as well. But it's better than those two. But yeah, not as good as the other stuff that's towards the beginning of the album. So again, it's like one of those songs. It's like yeah, it's okay. It's like in the middle.
Yep, more weirdness. Yep. But I will say it's one of the better ones that he brought. I didn't have a lot to say. It's definitely like I said, it's definitely one of the better ones. Probably my favorite part is probably the vocal in the chorus. Like I think the chorus is pretty nice. But the rest is okay. Again, it's not one of my favorites. But it's definitely not the worst.
Yeah, this one's all right.
I disagree. I really like this song. Probably the most positive on it. This made my top 10. I find this to be a really enjoyable song. It's not as wacky as a couple of the other songs that came before, but I enjoy this song. Now we flip the record over one last time. And we get to, I believe, no, not the last, but the second last McVie track, Honey High.
Yeah, I really like this song. It's another really nice McVie ballad. Really love the harmonies here. I love the acoustic guitar sound here. Yeah, it's towards the top for my McVie type songs. I think it's really good.
So yeah, this is another song I like a lot. Yeah, so yep, just a simple acoustic guitar number with some nice keyboards thrown in. Very simple track, but still very effective. Some nice harmonies, like Jason said. Just overall, a very sweet song. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah, this is another really good Christine McVie song. It's maybe my second favorite by her on this album. It's very good, very enjoyable listen.
Yeah, this is a very enjoyable song. This this did not make my top 10, but it is not a top. It is not top. It isn't a bottom 5 though. It's towards the middle, but very enjoyable way to start off side 4. Like I said, any of these songs can be my favorite song at any given moment. Like when I first heard when I first heard this album, like this is like the best song on the album. But like I said, it depends on how I feel. Now we get to what I believe is the last Stevie Nicks song, which is "Beautiful Child."
This is another fantastic Stevie Nicks song. Another one of my favorites on the album. The beautiful ballad. Stevie Nicks, just amazing vocals. I love how it starts with her just going, singing like "Beautiful Child," and then all of a sudden the bass like comes in. I love when that bass comes in. And then she goes like something about I was a fool or something like that, I think, and she keeps going on. And I was like, man, that was such a cool beginning to that song. It keeps going anyways. I love Stevie Nicks' voice. Definitely some of my favorite stuff on the album is her stuff, and this is definitely one of my top songs.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this was another really good one from Stevie. Apparently, this was based around an affair he had with some guy named Derek Thomas. And apparently Derek would call her a beautiful child.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, they worked on this one pretty late in the night, and definitely, I think that adds to the atmosphere of this one. Yeah, all the right reasons Jason says, like the bass playing on here is good, and there's a really great piano ballad and some really great harmonies on this one. But yeah, other than that, yeah, this is definitely a highlight.
This is a very good song. Another very good. Stevie Nicks' songs on this album are all amazing. Um, yeah, I love the melody of this one. I love just like most of the other songs on this album. It just has a very good vibe to it.
Again, I'm gonna say it. I think not McVie. I think Stevie Nicks is really shaping up to be a great songwriter. Uh, yeah, another song that I really enjoy off this album. Just again showing more growth of her writing. Uh, Lyrically, I'm gonna say she's the best songwriter on the album.
Mm.
Uh, like. I'll say I'll give you a hint now. My favorite song on the album isn't a Nicks song, but if I'm going just based on lyrically, this is definitely like her time to shine, and I can't help but just absolutely adore her for that. And I don't have a whole lot more to say. Just another fantastic song written by Stevie Nicks. Bravo to her. So we get to the next song on the album, "Walk With in Line."
Yeah, this was one of my favorite Buckingham songs on this album. Uh, it's very pretty. I love the vocals, especially the chorus. It's so catchy. I love that "Walk a Thin Line," and they hit some really good high notes on that. Definitely, yeah, like I said, definitely one of the catchier songs. I think Buckingham writes when he's good. He writes really good, catchy stuff. While I said like McVie and Nicks do the great ballads, Buckingham comes up with some really good, catchy numbers, and this is definitely one of them. That, yeah, it's a real highlight I think on the album for me, amongst a bunch of highlights.
Okay. Yep, Lindsay's definitely walking a thin line with me. But okay, but from my thoughts on this one, I thought it was boring. I wasn't that
Oh man,
crazy about
come
it.
on, give me something, Bryer.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
just, I just, yep. I mean, the drums were more pronounced. So I'll give it that. But other than that, it just kind of came and went. Apparently, Lindsay was inspired by the song "Sway" from the Rolling Stones, and I can hear it.
This sounds nothing like Sway.
Yeah, I can hear it, but I think I'd rather hear "Sway" than this. But again, it's okay, but it's not one of my favorites.
This is my least favorite Buckingham song on the album. Here's why. I know what's coming up next. I am mentally preparing myself for what's coming up next. And it just won't start because this stupid Walk a Thin Line song won't end. It's like just keeps going and going, and they keep repeating the same chorus and verse and stuff, and it's like, I want to get to Tusk already, and this song won't end. That's my problem. It's maybe more just the placement of the song rather than the song itself.
Yeah, Scott predicted that this would be my favorite song on the album. You're incorrect. This is not.
I was joking.
Oh, well, yeah, this is my second least favorite Buckingham song. I already said that Tusk was. Yeah, I will agree. This song does go a little longer than it should be, but I still really enjoy it. Now we get to the title track. It took us this long to get to the title track. We get Tusk.
yeah, man, this was such a fun song. I love the arrangement here. I love how we start with this I love the build up. It's just this really cool bum 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 bum. And you're like, oh wow, this is interesting. This is kind of cool. And then we get to that kind of chorus when say that you love me, bum 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 bum. It's like, oh my gosh, I love that part of the song. Say that it doesn't seem like there's a lot of lyrics to it, except I mean, of course, not much to it. It's just say that you love me and da da da. Oh, the music is so good. The drumming, again, is fantastic. I absolutely love the drumming on the song. I think the bass is really good. Like instrumentally, this is maybe the best song on the album. I think the instruments are just absolutely fantastic here, and the arrangement and everything is a really fun song. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay. So after all the torture I went through, now finally we get to a song I really enjoy.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah, so this is to me by far Lindsay's best song here. Of course, this was a pretty big hit in the U.S. They got to number 8. Um, and yeah, just like the overall feel of it, it just has this very ominous, dark feel to it. Just this gradual build up. And then you have this eventually it just keeps building and building, and then you have this all these sounds coming in. You have a marching band on here, which they actually recorded at I believe is at Dodger Stadium. They recorded the marching band at. It was just
Yep.
again another reason why this album what cost so much to make. Um, but yeah, it's just this giant or marching band they used, and it sounds really good in the mix. Like you couldn't tell they recorded this outside. Um, Again, the bass line from John, absolutely great. Yeah, just overall, just a definitely a standout right here. Didn't quite make my top 5, but still, it's yeah. Comparing to a lot of the Lindsay songs on here, this is by far my favorite. So there we go.
So Lindsay has kind of been hit or miss with his weirdness so far. This is kind of the culmination of all of his experimentation. It's like this is what he was trying to do. It's just some of the songs he didn't quite pull it off. This one he does it very well. They did so many different weird sound effects on this song, you can't even really like hear them all. They recorded so many weird sounds that are just hidden within this song. Apparently, John McVie, it was recorded but wasn't used in the final mix. John McVie bought like a lamb, like a leg of lamb from the butcher, and started slapping it for percussive effect. And they didn't use that on the final mix, but he did that just to see what it would sound like. They played around a lot with sounds on this one. One of them just like, it wasn't Lindsey Buckingham, but one of them was like, we should get a marching band. And so that's why we got the marching band. The marching band adds so much to this song. It starts off with just like drums and like you hear people talking in the background, and then like the guitar comes in boom 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 da 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 da, and then it just builds boom 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 boom. Just say that you love me, boom 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 boom. Tusk. I don't know why they call it Tusk, but like
Yeah.
just shouting a random word. But yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, I really enjoy this song. However, this is my least favorite Buckingham song. I did spoil that already. I'm gonna make the joke. You could say the lamb was lying down on Dodger Stadium. I went there.
Okay,
All right.
Uh,
right there.
but yeah, I really enjoy this song. But this is my second least favorite song.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
I don't know. It just had a really slow build up. I will say the marching band was the only like real like thing that made it stand out. But rather than that, it's good, but it's not like I don't see why this was one of the singles, to be honest, in my opinion. Now we get to the last song on the album. So we start off with the McVie song. We're gonna end on a McVie song.
Yes, and Bryer is never going to forget this album for sure. And I won't.
Don't forget.
I'm never going to forget this this stream. Oh my gosh. This was, I thought, a really good McVie song in the album. Part of me would have loved Tusk to end it. I thought Tusk would have been a fun ending to the album personally, but I can't fault Never Forget. It's still a good song. I thought another good, I consider more a pop song, less of her ballads, but I think the harmonies are really good here. McVie's good here. I can't complain too much. It was a good closer.
Yeah, I agree. This is a very nice song for Christine. I do get what Jason's saying. Like, is it the greatest closer? Probably not, but still, I mean, I'm a Christine guy, so I don't care. But yeah, this the music itself is just a really nice love song. You have the acoustic guitar, some electric piano on here, and I really like the chorus. I think it's really great. Some electric guitar. This overall, it's just a really song. Definitely a nice way to bring this crazy madness to a nice, quiet end. So yeah, this was a highlight for me. I really enjoy this one.
Good way to end the album. Nice, solid Christine piece song.
Nick Wake.
Oh,
Nick Wakeman.
I was waiting for Scott's to say more.
It's a double album. I'm trying to keep my thoughts kind of brief. So
I know.
it's not too long.
Yeah.
It is the last song on the album, but yeah, yeah, I don't really have much to say about this song. It didn't make my top 10, but yeah, it's a pretty good Mickey V song. So you're free to do a top 5, top 10, whatever you'd like to do.
Well, I wrote down a top 5, but I guess I'll give some honorable mentions, maybe to say some songs that. There are some songs I really, really liked that didn't get in my top 5, which is so crazy that when I look at my top 5 and go, wow, there's some songs I really praise and it still didn't make it in my top 5. I really love Tusk. I can't believe that didn't get in my top 5. I thought that was such a great song. Walk a Thin Line, I thought was a really good song. I'm the only one who liked that, I felt like. I don't know, that was just me, but I thought it was a really good song. Let's see. What Makes You Think You're the One? That was such a good song. It didn't get in my top 5. It's so catchy. I really liked it. And The Ledge, I thought was really good. And Over, and Never Forget, all really good stuff. Didn't get in my top 5. So my top 5. Number 5, I have Think About Me. I thought it was fantastic. Number 4, I Save Me a Place. And top 3 is all Stevie Nicks songs, I'm just going to say. And, man, it was hard. Any of these 3 songs could be my number 1. I went back and forth between these. At one time, I had one of these 3 songs my favorite song, so this is what I came with right now. But all 3 are just so good. Number 3, I have Beautiful Child. Number 2, Sarah. And number 1 for me right now is Storms.
All right.
Good choice.
Okay. All right, so I'll do a similar thing. I'll spew out some honorable mentions. So, Honey High, didn't make it, but still really good. Never Make Me Cry. That's All for Everyone. Definitely one of the better Lindsay songs here, and of course Tusk. That also didn't make the top 5, but still my favorites of his songs here. Then there's Think About Me, Sisters of the Moon. And then we get to the top 5. Number 5, I have Never Forget. Number 4, Sarah. Number 3, Beautiful Child. Number 2, Brown Eyes. And number 1, I'm going to agree with Jason, Storms.
Oh,
Wow.
awesome. Nice.
Okay, so I'm just going to go chronologically on the album list of my honorable mentions. Think About Me. That one's a great one, but didn't get on there. That's All for Everyone. I really like that Lindsey Buckingham song, but it's not on there. Sisters of the Moon. Great Stevie Nicks song, but it's not on there. Angel barely missed my top 5. I think it was on there at one point, but it now barely missed it. Honey High. Oh, man, Beautiful Child. That one really barely just missed it. That's a great one. And Never Forget. So, for me, number 5, and this is where Bryer is going to be very upset. Number 5. It's not that funny, is it? Yes, I'm serious. It's just that memorable of a song I had to put it in the top 5. Number 4 is going to be Brown Eyes. I really like that song. Number 3, Storms. So we're not going to have a trifecta. Number 2, Sarah. And number 1 for me is Tusk. I love how weird and experimental that song is.
Okay.
When the marching band kicks in.
Well, I'll give my honorable mentions, which I'll just go 15 through 11. Number 15, Brown Eyes. Number 14, Honey High. Number 13, Beautiful Child. Number 12, Never Forget. And number 1, Think About Me. Now for my top 10. Number 10 is going to be The Ledge. Number 9, What Makes You Think You're the One. Number 8, Save Me a Place. Number 7, Sarah. Number 6, That's All for Everyone. Number 5, I Know I'm Not Wrong. Number 4, That's Enough for Me. Number 3, Storms. Number 2, Not That Funny. My favorite song of the album. No one predicted this will be my favorite song on the album. Never Make Me Cry.
Okay.
I love this track. I really love this track. Very underrated song on the album. Gotta give love to McVie on this song. So yeah. So what are we gonna rate this album?
Yeah, I'm actually going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think this is a fantastic album. And the top 5 is so good. Top 10 is so good. Some of the best songs I think they've done. And Stevie Nicks, like I said, her ballads are just absolutely fantastic on here. I even like Buckingham, some of Buckingham stuff. Unlike One of Us, I thought Buckingham provides some good stuff here. He did provide some bad stuff, but he's got some good stuff as well. And to me, this is my second favorite Fleetwood Mac album so far.
All right, I'm here to ruin the mood now.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
10.
That's not funny. Anyhow.
Funny, isn't it?
But okay. So at first I didn't know what to rate this one. Now I will say, Stevie songs, fantastic. Christine songs, fantastic. Lindsay songs. So going back to what I was saying, so again, to me, I think Stevie Nicks was kind of the MVP of this album. Again, speaking to a Christine fan, but I will say I think Stevie had some of the strongest songs here. And of course, Christine also had some good songs. So because of them, they are the saving grace of this album. So they're the reason why this album's not any lower. But again, it's pretty obvious. Wasn't too crazy for a lot of Lindsay's stuff here. Again, there were some decent ones, but there was a lot I really didn't care for. So with that said, I'm gonna give this. It might be a generous score. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Because again, I think Stevie and Christine songs were definitely the saving grace. This is definitely an album I will not play in full for a long time. But there's definitely songs I'm gonna go back to. So it's not like I came out of this album thinking there was nothing good. Like, that's not true. Like, there are some great songs, but yeah, this is definitely not one of my all-time favorites.
I'm right up there with Jason. 9.5.
Uh,
I really like this album. I even like the experimental Lindsey Buckingham stuff. It's also my second favorite Fleetwood Mac album.
Okay.
Well, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. You guys were expecting it. I enjoy everything on this album. I'll say the only drawback is the opening track not being the best. Like I said, that didn't affect my score, but it might affect my ranking of this. I don't know what my favorite Fleetwood Mac album is. It's a toss-up between 3 albums. Heroes Are Hard to Find. I'm trying to think of the others album.
Mystery to Me.
Mystery to Me, yes. And this album. These are like my 3 favorite albums. It could be number 1. It could be number 2. But most likely for now, it's my 3rd favorite of the albums we reviewed so far.
Nice.
We have any thoughts we want to say before we close out?
Yes, I'm just going to say it one more time before I never get to say it again. You all know it. Say it out loud. 1, 2, 3. It's not that funny, is it?
I still hear it.
How about you, Jason? You have any last thoughts?
If I could find a shirt that says that it's not that funny, I'm totally.
I have methods.
I'm gonna send one to
I was
Bryer.
able to get Nick a Dust My Broom t-shirt with Mr. Wonderful on the front.
And I want to watch Bryer open it on his channel.
Bryer has a t-shirt with Lindsey Buckingham coked out of his mind on the front that says it's not that funny, is it?
Well, Bryer would have but then his follow-up video would be like, I'm burning a t-shirt today.
You burn it.
For my 2,000 subscribers,
Oh, yeah, there
I'm
you
burning
go.
a t-shirt today.
And like when he's burning it, he'll do what he did with the
No, no. I'll use the shirt to when I smash the guitar. I'll get the shirt on fire and then place it on top of it. And I'll be like Jimi Hendrix.
No. You'll do what you did with the record player. You'll be like,
There we go. That's
Is
what
that funny? Is that funny?
okay. How about you, Bryer? You have any last words?
Just please never make me cry.
Okay. Well, stay tuned next time where in our Fleetwood Mac series, we will be covering their next album, which is Mirage.
Save me a place.
And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. So long.